Good morning, class. Today we are going to discuss our third and very important chapter, business studies, that is private, public, and global enterprises. Enterprise is word that we use for the business organizations also. Okay, so in this chapter we will discuss about different types of the private organizations, public organization, and global enterprises. Okay, so these are the contents of this chapter which we have to discuss. Okay, so here we have to see the concept and the characteristics of business, features or the different forms of public enterprises, departmental, statutory corporations, and government companies. Okay, so let's start with the basics. So before that, we have some introduction. Maybe possible in your neighborhood you have seen different type of the market. In that market there are multiple shops and which are owned or managed by some different pupils. Some are managed by sole proprietor under the sole proprietorship. Okay, and some are managed by the partnership or different forms of the business organization. And maybe possible you have seen small or big retail organizations. Okay, and there maybe there's some shops just like a big bazaar or the Vishal Mart or the Reliance. Okay, so these are run and managed by the companies. Then there are pupils providing you services like legal services, medical services. Okay, being on by more than one person, that is of partnership, and you are well aware about the definition of partnership firms. So these all are privately owned organization, any organization which are run, managed and controlled by any individual person or the group of the person or the partnership firms, that is called private organization. And now the same time similarly there are other offices or the places or the business organization which are run, managed by the government, just like railway, that is an organization which is totally managed by the government. Then we have post office from where we take different type of the services, and similarly we have telegraph department. So in our country we are going to divide all the business organization except sole proprietorship, partnership, Hindu undivided family or like that. So we can divide all the organization into two part. First, that is private sectors, and second one is public sector. Public sector, it means government business organization. So in this chapter we are going to discuss about these things. So first here, so on the basis of that, business organizations on the basis of their small or the large or industry or the trading. Okay, so we can divide them into two parts. First, that is very important sector, that is of private sector, and second one of public sector. So in this chapter we are going to discuss something about the private sector and the public sector. So before this starting, let's think about that. So we are talking about our school, that is of public or the private. So that we have to see according to the on the basis of management. If we are seeing that the managements are done by the some individual persons, so that's why it's a part of private sectors. Or if we are instead of our school, if we are talking about any government school, that is run, managed by government, so that is a kind of government organizations. But schools are not the part of business activities, so we can't include them. Okay, so let's discuss about the private sector. So simple definition is there. The private sector consists of business owned by the individual or a group of individuals. So in the simple language we can say any form of the business organization or any sector which are run, managed and controlled by any individual or the group of individuals, then it will be considered as private sector business. Then on the another hand we have public sector. In normally terms, we can say all the organizations which are not public enterprises or the private sectors will be public sectors. So here, the public sector consists of various organizations owned and managed by the government. These organizations may either by partially or wholly owned by the central or the state government. So there is a condition regarding the public sector. So that organization or enterprises may be run and managed by state government or the central government or by the both of them, so it will be considered as public sectors. So basically all the public sectors comes under the ministry. Different ministries are there, and they are run and managed by the special act of the parliament. Okay, for each and every public sectors, every organization, there is a special act which has been passed in the parliament. So that we will discuss in this chapter. So let's discuss about the Indian economy. If we are talking about the Indian economy, that is depend on the public sector and private sector both. So in the public sector, we have departmental undertakings, we have different government companies, we have different statutory corporations. Along with this, we are talking about the private sectors that we have already seen: sole proprietorship, joint Hindu family business, partnership business, then multinational corporations, then finally we have companies. These are the classifications, and basically we have to focus on it. So about the private sector, that we have already discussed in our previous lectures. Okay, so in this lecture, in this chapter, we are going to discuss about the public sector. So let's start with the departmental undertakings. Okay, so before that, public enterprises once again. So we have here definition, standard definition. A public enterprises may take any particular form of the organization depending upon the nature of its operations and their relationship with the government. The suitability of a particular form of organization would depend upon its requirements. At the same time, in accordance with general principles, any organization in the public sector should ensure organizational performance, productivity, and quality standards. So, that is public enterprises. As we have seen, any business firm which are run managed by the central government or the state government, it may be the 20 or 80 ratio, or it may be the 50-50 ratio, anything can be there. Okay, so basically, just to understand the private enterprises, public enterprises, we have divided it into three parts. Okay, so these are departmental undertakings, statutory corporations, and government companies. So first, we will discuss over the departmental undertakings. Okay, under the public enterprises, we are going to discuss over the departmental undertaking. So first, we have to focus on the word departmental undertakings. Departmental, it means that word we use basically for the ministry, okay, or the government. Undertaking, because most of the activities, all of the activities are managed by or seen by the or controlled by the government. So this is the oldest and most traditional form of the business organization under the public enterprises. These enterprises are established as departments of the ministry and are considered part or an extension of the ministry itself. So such a type of the business organization comes under the ministry. Okay, and they act through the officers of the government, and its employees are called government employees. So it's departmental undertakings, they are run and managed by the government officials, and these government officials are called government employees. And these undertakings may be under the central or the state government. As we have already seen, all the organizations under the public enterprises, they will be run managed by the government. It may be then the central government or by the state government. So these undertaking may be under the central or the state government, and the rules of central or the state governments are applicable. So central government and state government, they make their own rule or regulation. Accordingly, things may be changed. So whatever rules government will set, each and every business organization have to follow it. Okay, so here we have the examples of these undertakings are in our country, that is of railway, post, and telegraph department. So you can see in our country we have different ministry, that is of railway. Okay, railway are managed by the rail different ministries, and post and telegrams are managed by post and telegram department. So they have different department. Okay, and each and every department have their own ministry. Okay, the part of or the branch of the government. So here we have to focus on the features of departmental undertakings. These are the features of departmental undertaking. So you must know कि अगर हम लोग देखते हैं किसी रेलवे में किस टाइप के लोग काम करते हैं and which type of people work in the telegram or the post office, so what is the procedure of their selection and all. Okay, so on the basis of that we can understand the features and the concept of the departmental undertakings. Okay, so first here, the funding of these enterprises comes directly from the government treasury and are an annual appropriation from the budget of the government. So at the very beginning, that department make their own budget regarding their income and expenditures, and they submit to the government, and then after government take decision and allow them their budget. Okay, so they directly receive their funds from the government treasury. Government treasury it means गवर्नमेंट का सीधे बोल सकते हैं गवर्नमेंट के पास जो खजाना है, ओके, वहाँ से ही अपना शेयर लेते हैं अपने आप को मैनेज करने के लिए. द नेक्स्ट, they are subject to accounting and audit controls applicable to other government activities. So whenever they will do any kind of activities, their accounts are verified by the auditors, that is they are called CAs. Okay, so जितने भी government organizations होते हैं, they have to submit their audit reports according to the proper format or the procedure. They have to follow that. And the employees of the enterprises are government servant, as we have seen they are government employees, and their recruitment and conditions of services are the same as that of other employees directly under the government. Okay, so here each and every members or the employees who works under the departmental undertakings, they work for the government, that's why they are called government employees, and they have to follow all the rules or regulation given by the government, and their selection procedure is already given by that department. They are headed by Indian Administrative Services, जिसको हम लोग IAS officials बोलते हैं, and civil servant who are transferable from one ministry to another ministry. So sometime one person can be transferred in another places. Okay, because they have to pass the IAS exams and all, then after they got selected, and it is generally considered to be a major subdivision of the government department and is subject to direct control of the ministry. So it is generally considered to be the major subdivision, basically just for the smooth functioning of government activities. Government has divided their activities into the different departments. So here they have just subdivided, and they are accountable to the ministry since their management is directly under the concerned ministry. If we are talking about the Indian Railway, that comes under the Indian Railway Ministry, because they have different ministers. Railway का पूरा अलग ही सारी चीज़ें होती हैं. They present their separate budget and everything. Okay, so they have to report to their ministry. Next we have some merits, some positive things of departmental undertakings. So these undertakings facilitates the parliament to exercise effective control over their operations. हमारे जितने भी डिपार्टमेंटल अंडरटेकिंग्स हैं, सो इन द पार्लियामेंट they have a special session and they used to discuss about each and every departmental undertakings, either railway or the post and telegram or the Indian Airlines. Okay, so सबके लिए अलग अलग पूरा डिस्कशन होता है, and these ensure a high degree of public accountability. Basically they work for the public welfares only. Okay, so that's why you can check the railway freight charged by the railways and the post office charges. Okay, so they are very nominal because they work for the people's welfare only. The revenue earned by the enterprises goes directly to the treasury and hence is a source of income for the government. So most probably whatever income has been generated in that through that departmental undertaking, that directly goes to the government's treasury, and from there they can use it for various purposes. Okay, then where national security is concerned, this form is most suitable since it is under the direct control and supervision of the concerned ministry. So basically, if matter is there for the national security, then all the departmental undertakings works for the nation. Just like you might be seen that when situations moves goes wrong on the borders, so at that time our army has to transfer their that is military weapons and like all that one to another places. For that they use the help of इंडियन रेलवे. और इंडियन रेलवे उनके लिए क्या करता है, अलग से सारा अरेंजमेंट करके देता है, उनके व्हीकल्स को ट्रांसपोर्ट करना और ये सारी फैसिलिटी प्रोवाइड्स करके देता है. ओके, so it was the ministry. Next we have limitations. As we know, if some positive things are there, then definitely some negative things will be there. So if we are going with the limitations, so departmental undertaking fail to provide flexibility, which is essentials for the smooth operation of businesses. Just like if we are getting services from the public private sectors, so there is a chance of flexibility. Just like if you have visited any bank just after working hours, in private sectors they may be help, but in the public sectors they do not help. Okay, if we are going there just 1 or 2 minutes late, so this is the big drawback of public sector. They are not flexible according to the time and all. The employees or heads of departments of such undertaking are not allowed to take independent decision. So in this, as we have seen, all the employees are selected by the special procedure, okay, that is already set by government. So they are not able to take their own decision. Before taking any decision, they have asked to the government or to their superiors only. So nothing is in their hand directly. These enterprises are unable to take advantages of business opportunities. Okay, just like you have seen that uh, in the summer or during the festivals, if we are talking about the Indian Railway or about our रोड ट्रांसपोर्ट सिस्टम्स, तो किसी एक रूट पर एक किसी लाइन पर क्या होता है, ट्रैफिक बहुत ज़्यादा होता है. But government do not use, or Indian Railway do not use to increase the number of multiple trains. Okay, if there are very crisis or very rush, then then even they used to announce 2 or 3 trains. But if that is in the hand of public private sector, then easily they can manage according to the requirement. Okay, and the bureaucrats over cautions and conservative approval does not allow them to take risky ventures. Basically, if we are talking about all the departmental undertaking, government can't invest their money in any kind of risky business. They have to invest their money or everything just for the public welfare. Okay, and there is a red tapeism in day-to-day operations, and no action can be taken unless it goes through the proper channels of authorities. Red tapeism, it means all the government offices, they use to manage that business organization by their own way. Sometimes they used to ignore the rules or regulations given by the government or their authorities. They used to their own commands. Okay, that is called red tapeism. Red tapeism, it means we have to move according to our wish. We are not going to hear government, or they are not going to follow government's rules or regulations. And there is a lot of political interference through the ministry. जितनी भी ministries होती हैं, maybe the government has lot of interfere is there. So that's why these departmental undertakings are not very successful. Okay, if we are talking about in India we have BSNL. Okay, भारत संचार निगम लिमिटेड, जो कि मतलब इंडिया का एक बेस्ड कम्युनिकेशन सिस्टम बोल सकते हैं, एक बेस सेलुलर कंपनी है. लेकिन जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट्स और द जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ द मिनिस्ट्री, वो अपने आप का इनिशिएटिव नहीं ले पाते, वो अपने आप को उस जो कॉम्पिटिशन इरा है उसमें वो पार्टिसिपेट नहीं कर पाते. ओके, सो नेक्स्ट वी हैव there is a lot of political interface through the ministry. Okay, these organizations are usually incentives to consumer needs and do not provide adequate service to them. तो बेसिकली ये जो होता है अपना डिपार्टमेंटल अंडरटेकिंग्स होता है, आर यूजली इंसेंटिव टू कस्टमर्स नीड्स, ये कस्टमर्स की नीड्स पर बेस्ड होता है, एंड डू नॉट प्रोवाइड एडुकेट सर्विसेज टू देम, लेकिन उसके अकॉर्डिंग वो कस्टमर को, कंज्यूमर्स को सर्विसेज नहीं दे पाते. ओके, इफ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट इंडियन रेलवे, दैट इज here just to provide the transport facilities in India. Indian Post Office, they have to work for the India, for Indians, where we want to send our letters, parcels and all, but they are not enough capable to provide that type of the facilities. As we have seen in our country, we have different type of the organization, they do provide such a type of courier services or the transportation services. So other than that, if we are talking about Indian Post, that is very big organizations, and they can reach up to the smallest village. Okay, where just like first flight or like that, these type of organization can't reach, but Indian Post can reach, but they are not providing that type of the facilities. So these are the limitations of departmental undertakings. Hope you have enjoyed about the undertakings. So here we have seen first about the public sector and the private sector, as we